Trouble. His front sails are shredded, his motor is dead, and he is drifting into treacherous waters. The boat is named after his 2-year-old daughter, Lee, who is huddled below deck. Malcolm sends out an urgent SOS, but the signal is so weak the Coast Guard has difficulty pinpointing his exact location. 2 rescue boats speed to the area, but the first passes right by Malcolm without even seeing him. He struggles to guide his damaged vessel into calmer waters, but it's too late. A 20-foot wave slams into Malcolm's boat, tossing him into the churning sea. Grabbing a safety line, he pulls his way back on board and frantically searches for his daughter. He is relieved to find her below deck, frightened but unharmed. Although the mast has collapsed, Malcolm's battered sloop stays afloat and begins drifting into calmer waters. But nearby, the second rescue boat is getting hammered by the ferocious surf. Suddenly, a gigantic wall of water pounds the boat, flipping it upside down. 2 crewmen are swept into the sea. Incredibly, they manage to fight their way back onto their boat. Now it's the rescuers who need to be rescued. Thankfully, a Coast Guard helicopter arrives on the scene. The pilot carefully maneuvers the chopper into position. One of the crewmen reaches out, but a wave knocks him off balance. The pilot moves in for another try. This time, the man is able to grab hold. Now it's his partner's turn. The pilot lowers the chopper, knowing the boat could sink at any second. The man reaches out and slips. But somehow, he manages to hang on. After several anxious moments, the crewman is helped aboard and lifted to safety. Also safe and sound are Malcolm and his daughter. They are towed to shore by the Coast Guard. Were it not for the courageous efforts of the chopper pilot, this day would have ended in tragedy.
All right, let's watch this. Yeah, right? The wave's bigger or smaller here? Bigger. cool, huh? Okay. So, two scenarios, right? You got two scenarios, both of which involve big waves, right? What's the difference between the two?
One's destructive, one's fun.
One's fun, one's tragic. Why? Why was one tragic and the other one was amazing?
One didn't want
What?
to be there.
They what? Louder.
They weren't prepared for it?
The first one was not prepared for it. The second one was. Okay? What else do you think was different between the first scenario and the second one, other than preparation?
One of them he had his kid with them.
Yeah. That again would be preparation, wouldn't it? Because you'd never go into harm's way with someone that wasn't prepared, especially your kid. What else?
One went out
Huh?
one went out to actually do it, and one went out and things they happened to.
Intent,
Yeah.
right? Intent and attitude. Attitude's the word I'm looking for. Preparation and attitude. That's the subject. Okay, if you have your dictionary.com app, you can pull it up, right? So what's preparation? Nancy, would you read that for us?
A preceding measure or provision by which one presents for something.
Okay, what
Prepares
else?
for something, sorry. Preparations for a journey, any preceding experience, or the like considered as a mode of preparing for the future, an act of preparing the state of being prepared.
Okay, okay. So what does preparedness look like?
Thinking ahead.
Huh?
Thinking ahead. Thinking for any scenario.
Okay, is he prepared?
Yes.
He was totally prepared, man. He's got his pack, he's got his little rope, he's got his bugle. You know, he's got a
Great attitude.
and he does. Look at that dude. He is prepared. Right? He's a great example of being prepared. Right? And why? Because see, look at all these little wood badges he's got, right? That means that he's studied.
He's been
and
doing training.
He's been doing training. He's preparing himself for what?
To dig the hole before.
Yep.
Whatever happens.
To dig the hole before. You've seen the movie. Don't give away the plot. Okay, prepared. All right? Preparedness is doing the work before in order to be ready for the moment that you're going to have the experience. Right? Who's gone into a situation prepared and succeeded? How's it feel? Awesome? You feel like a rock star? Who has gone into a situation unprepared? Okay? Hey, describe that experience.
Uneasy. Stressful.
Uneasy, stressful. What else?
Chaos.
One word?
Regret.
Chaos?
Regret. Bad day.
Regret? Bad day? What else?
Long day.
Huh? Long day?
Cold, wet, miserable.
Cold, wet, miserable, whatever it may be. Okay, so that's cool, right? We know that if we're prepared, then we can succeed. All right? What about this? Chris, would you read that for us?
Attitude, noun, manner, disposition, feeling, position, etc. With regard to a person or thing, tendency or orientation, especially of the mind.
Okay.
Position or posture of the body appropriate to or expressive of an action or emotion.
Okay.
Aeronautics, the inclination of the three principal axles of an aircraft relative to the wind, to the ground, etc.
That's right.
And ballet, a pose in which the dancer stands on one leg, the other bent behind.
Okay. All right, attitude. Attitude is what? Is it it's a state of being, isn't it? It is mental, it is emotional, it is physical, it is spiritual. An attitude is your being one and in focus for the task at hand. You saw those guys on those surfboards? What were they doing? Did you see their positions? Those guys were like, I mean, they were going for it, right? I mean, there was nobody that was like, oh shit, I'm gonna fall, right? I mean, when you're doing those big waves, okay, so who surfed the biggest wave in the world, recorded? Who knows that?
His name's Laird.
Laird Hamilton, you're right. And the wave was supposedly about 100 feet tall. And he successfully surfed it, and they took a picture of it. and they just basically said, okay, laird is this big, the weight is this big, so we go this many lairds, that's 100 feet. Okay? And what did Laird do? He totally dug in, and he had prepared his whole life for that very moment. Now let's talk about us. Let's talk about how preparation and attitude impacts us. Right? When we're going to go to a job site, we need to know what? How? What?
What the job is, what we need.
Okay? And how does that process begin?
With estimators.
Okay? What do the estimators do to get us started on the path of preparation?
Give it as much detail as they can give us about the job.
What are the elements in that estimate that are required?
Do a job walkthrough, walk through the job.
Okay? They'll walk through the job with you or prior to or what?
I think prior to us,
Okay?
and then when they get back, then where do you have where the water's at, where you can exhaust your negative air
Okay,
machine.
so they have detailed information at the job site.
Right.
Okay, what else?
Quantities.
Okay, quantities. How much,
What it is.
when, where, how, right? How fast? Okay? What else? What are the things that really help you? You get the job file, you're gonna go out there, what are the pieces of information that are most useful?
Type of equipment you're gonna need.
Okay, the list of equipment, great.
The work
What,
plan,
the work plan, and what does the work plan say?
the work plan it says how much material we are going to remove,
Quantity,
the process of flammable
Yep.
material,
Type
what is
of
the
containment.
manifest, type of containment.
Yep. How you're gonna manifest that waste, how you're gonna package it, how you're gonna dispose of it, etc. Right? What else? Yeah, the amount, the budget you've got, right? How many manpower, how many man hours do you have in order to complete this task? What else?
The address of the job site.
Yeah, the location and so forth. So that's very helpful. That is very helpful.
Hey, there's a little fog in Glenn's ear.
Anything else? What else? What else can they put together for you that
Contact information.
huh?
Contact information.
Contact information, who you're gonna talk to, what their role is, what else?
Pictures.
Pictures, why Carlos?
Because that make a better picture.
Yeah, a picture saying, okay, we're gonna remove this, but look, see this thing right here? It's got a stain, we gotta remove everything around it. That thing right there, that's gonna come out, that's gonna be saved, and it's gonna go into this location to be safe for the owner to reapply, right? Okay, next step. What do we do next to prepare?
Just identify obstacles and other issues.
Job goes to from the estimator to whom?
Production.
Production manager.
Okay, well, there's a step in between, which is the office, and they prepare the file. And all of the relevant information needs to be in the file in order to prepare who? Production manager. Production manager has to look at the job, understand what needs to be done, and then what do they have to do?
Analyze how many guys it needs.
How many guys, who has the talent and the knowledge to do the job, right? What if you've never done a special type of floor tile, or what if it's brown glue and you've never done it? We need to find somebody that has. What's the next step?
The whole file goes to the shop,
Okay?
and the shop start preparing all the consumables,
Yeah.
the equipment, put it together for the supervisor to come and start on the truck.
She's got her camera, she's waiting for me to do that slow motion. Yeah, I know.
Hey, I was gonna say you should do the pose in which the dancer stands on one leg.
What like?
Yeah.
No, Danielson, not that one.
This is attitude right here, right? Okay. Okay. So then from it goes into the shop, then what happens? What's next?
So the supervisor gets to the shop, and start loading the truck and reviewing the file with the production manager to see what needs to be done.
That's part of preparation. What about attitude? What do we need to do with our attitude the entire time along? What should our attitude be?
Needs to be
Positive.
positive.
Positive. Positive, what else?
Confident.
Confident. Okay, there you go. You gotta be a little happy ray of sunshine. Right, okay, that's the picture that I pulled up. And I thought that was pretty good. I seriously, I thought that was good for a positive attitude picture. Right? We need to be willing to accept the conditions that we have, improve them as well as we can, and then go and execute. Will conditions be perfect?
No.
What? They're not going to be perfect? No, they won't, will they? There will be trouble. There will be challenges. There will be inconsistencies, and there will be problems. But what helps resolve those issues? You anticipate them as well as you can. But what happens when that thing that you just didn't think would happen happens? What do you fall back on?
Your experience.
Your training, your experience, your preparation, and also, most importantly, your attitude. Who controls your attitude? Just yourself. Todd, you always got a pretty good attitude. Name 2 or 3 people in the room that always have a good attitude, Todd. Todd, okay. Nancy, always, yep,
Bringing up the atmosphere.
yep.
And Regan, he's always
Regan,
positive.
okay. So Nancy, tell me, what is it about your attitude? Why is it you constantly choose to be very positive and like, you know, very, hey, we can do this?
Well, I choose to be like that because it makes my day better.
Okay? Does it make anyone else's day better?
I hope so.
I will tell you what consistently makes my day better. Okay? Regan, how about you? Why do you choose the attitude that you do?
Basically, it's what I want in return from everyone else.
That's right.
I've got enough problems outside of work. I don't want to make any more here, you know.
That's right. We get to be the ones that set the tone and the pace of the day. And we get to do that through our preparation. Because when you feel prepared, you feel more calm, you feel confident, you feel happy, right? You feel, hey, I can handle this today. I know I've done training, I know I've done these things, I've prepared. I'm sure that when Laird Hamilton tipped off of a 100-foot wave and started down, he didn't go, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. No, I don't want to do this. Yeah. There's this really cool surf movie. It's actually a documentary.
Point Break.
No, no.
That's
but
the
they
only
actually,
good surf movie.
they talk about all these old, like, old school surfers, and they interview them, then they interview Laird Hamilton. They actually show that picture, because there's one picture of Laird Hamilton surfing that wave. That's the only evidence, okay? But they interview all these people and they talk about it, and there was this guy back in the 50s that had a longboard, and they used to call him the Duke. And the Duke talked about when he dropped in on this great big monster wave. He said that he threw his chest out and he just like leaned into it, and he said he was living that moment. He was there and only there. Every single molecule of his being was prepared and was ready and focused at that moment. We talked about focusing all of our being on the task at hand, and someone succeeded at doing that. Can we do that? Okay. Are the jobs going to be easy? No. Will there always be challenges? Absolutely. There will always be trouble. There will always be challenges. Will you have somebody get irate and crazy and yell at you? Sometimes. And what do you do? Guillermo, what do you do?
Take it one step at a time with good attitude.
You act like John Wayne. You
talking
act
about
like John Wayne. You know what? Because I watched an interview way back. Because you guys remember I started this company when I was really young. And I had very, very little experience. And I didn't have anyone coaching me and helping me. And there was an incident that occurred when I was probably about 28. Someone was yelling and screaming and shit was, breaking loose. And everything was rough, and I just had this horrible, horrible day, and I watched this thing on TV, and there was this like old video talking to John Wayne, and this reporter was like, Mr. Wayne, tell me why it is that all of your characters in your movies are always like the guy in charge, and you just handle things so well and so forth. What is it that you do that causes that to happen? And he says, well, I talk low, I talk slow, and I don't say too much. People are looking for a calm voice in moments of crisis. Who is the calm voice in moments of crisis on your job site? Huh?
Clinton?
Maybe Clinton, but what if Clinton's not on the job site?
The supervisor's gone.
It is you. I don't care if you're the supervisor or if you're the leadman or anything like that. A calm approach to problematic situations is a very, very powerful tool. The attitude. Do you have the answer at that very moment?
Nope.
Maybe not. But your attitude can demonstrate that you are willing and able to find a solution and employ that solution for their benefit as quickly as you can find it. Preparation. Why do we always want to be learning? Because conditions will always be changing. We constantly need to learn because conditions and challenges will constantly change. And that is part of the progression of life. And isn't that a magnificent thing? How do we prepare in culture training?
By talking about the situation that you might be in.
Yeah, we challenge our thinking. We challenge the way that we feel. We ask ourselves if we can do a little more. We try to become more professional. We look for opportunities to do better. We give ourselves knowledge and experience in interacting so that we can resolve issues in a competent manner. We need to each use our own being, our own tools, our own knowledge and talents, because each one of our talents are slightly different, and we need to leverage them for our personal benefit, right? Because we want to build ourselves as professionals, and why are we building ourselves as professionals, Leah?
We want to do our best and bring up the people around us and make a difference.
And we want constant and permanent progression. Zach, you are progressing. Tell us how you are progressing right now. What's happening?
I am actually moving to Portland today. Yeah, taking a design job out there so that I can learn and practice my skills and be able to advance in the field that I've studied.
What preparation have you received here in Evo Environmental over the last 6 months to a year?
Well, I think a huge thing that you can talk about in the interview was just, like we've talked about today, just the attitude. Just to always have an attitude that, hey, we can solve this. And not let it, I don't know if there's a problem that comes up, not let it get in the way, just have a sort of a calm demeanor about it and use that to be able to work with a team better. I think that's probably been the most important thing here is just teamwork.
Okay, all right. And the tasks that you've been doing, building videos and making sure our graphics look good and designing space and so forth, will you be able to use any of those experience to possibly benefit you when you get to your next position?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we prepare ourselves every single day, is to prepare ourselves for tomorrow, for the next opportunity, and for the direction we're headed. I invite you, I extend the opportunity to you to, one, prepare. Prepare yourselves for things you might want to do in the future. Prepare yourself for the moment you will be faced tomorrow or later in that day. Prepare yourself to succeed. Prepare yourself to meet your true potential. That is the most powerful gift you can give yourself is to prepare yourself to be who you are wired and meant to be. And then 2, have the attitude, an attitude that is positive, that is friendly, that you want to succeed and you want the others around you to succeed. Let's look for the positive, and let's not be ignorant of the negative, but let's manage it in a positive way and succeed together. Okay? Thank you.